HarperCollins presents Hold the Dream by Barbara Taylor Bradford, read by Bea Holland. She possessed in the highest degree all the qualities which were required in a great prince. Giovanni Scaramelli, Venetian ambassador to the court of Elizabeth Tudor, Queen of England. I would have you know that this kingdom of mine is not so scant of men, but there be a rogue or two among them. Elizabeth Tudor, Queen of England. Matriarch. I speak the truth, not so much as I would, but as much as I dare, and I dare a little more as I grow older. Montaigne. Chapter 1. Emma Harte was almost 80 years old. She did not look it, for she had always carried her years lightly. Certainly Emma felt like a much younger woman as she sat at her desk in the upstairs parlour of Penistone Royal on this bright April morning of 1969. Her posture was erect in the chair, and her alert green eyes, wise and shrewd under the wrinkled lids, missed nothing. The burnished red-gold hair had turned to shining silver long ago, but it was impeccably coiffed in the latest style, and the widow's peak was as dramatic as ever above her oval face. If this was now lined and scored by the years, her excellent bone structure had retained its clarity and her skin held the translucency of her youth. And so, though her great beauty had been blurred by the passage of time, she was still arresting, and her appearance, as always, was stylish. For the busy working day stretching ahead of her, she had chosen to wear a woolen dress of tailored simplicity in the powder blue shade she so often favoured, and which was so flattering to her. A frothy white lace collar added just the right touch of softness and femininity at her throat, and there were discreet diamond studs on her ears. Otherwise she wore no jewellery, except for a gold watch and her rings. After her bout with bronchial pneumonia the previous year, she was in blooming health, had no infirmities to speak of, and she was filled with the restless vigour and drive that had marked her younger days. That's my problem, not knowing where to direct all this damned energy, she mused, putting down her pen, leaning back in the chair. She smiled and thought, the devil usually finds work for idle hands, so I'd better come up with a new project soon, before I get into mischief. Her smile widened. Most people thought she had more than enough to keep her fully occupied, since she continued to control her vast business enterprises, which stretched halfway round the world. Indeed, they did need her constant supervision, yet for the most part they offered her little challenge these days. Emma had always thrived on challenge, and it was this she sorely missed. Playing watchdog was not particularly exciting to her way of thinking. It did not fire her imagination, bring a tingle to her blood, or get her adrenaline flowing in the same way that wheeling and dealing did. Pitting her wits against the business adversaries and striving for power and supremacy in the international marketplace had become such second nature to her over the years they were now essential to her well-being. Restlessly she rose, crossed the floor in swift, light steps, and opened one of the soaring leaded windows. She took a deep breath, peered out. The sky was a faultless blue without a single cloud, and radiant with spring sunshine. New buds, tenderly green, sprouted on the skeletal branches, and under the great oak at the edge of the lawn, a mass of daffodils, randomly planted, tossed yellow bright heads under the fluttering breeze. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vale and hill, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. She recited aloud, then thought, good heavens, I learned that Wordsworth poem at the village school in Fairley, so long ago, and to think that I've remembered it all these years. Raising her hand, she closed the window.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?